Should we keep the music going? Yeah, we should. Maybe a little bit. Everyone can hear me? Good morning, good morning. I should be able to take these off now because I don't need them anymore. So happy Friday. Oh, where's my little hook? There's a little hook. Cool, right. Just wanted to say hello and happy Friday. God, the sun's out. I'm so excited for the weekend. Looking forward to getting some sunshine in me. It feels like it's been absolutely ages. So just want to hang around for a little bit. There was a couple of updates and news that, I wanted to share with people. The idea of this kind of frequent and slightly infrequent kind of live stream is that I just wanted to hang out on a Friday morning, have a cup of coffee, and just kind of, engage with anyone that's out and about today, and maybe share a few updates that we've kind of come across over the last few days that might be relevant to you in, various networking events or meetings, or just anything that we feel like could be sort of passed on to you. Hey James, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining in. Could just be us two at the moment. I'm not sure how many's on the stream. Let's have a little look. Last time we were streaming only across Facebook, but today we're streaming across Facebook and YouTube. So those that don't have a YouTube account or aren't interested in YouTube, they can be part of this as well. Hopefully the commenting, it looks like it's all working, which was kind of one of the things that was niggling me about 30 seconds ago, which didn't seem to work. But it's like anything, you test it out, and then the minute you press that live button, it all goes wrong. But no, it seems to be working quite nicely, and the kit hasn't let me down so far, which is good. There's a couple of people hanging out, so that is nice. And I'm assuming everyone can hear me okay. Didn't do a lot of audio processing, so I'm sure there's room for improvement with an echoey room like this, but hopefully you could all hear me okay. Hey Kevin, good to see you, buddy. God, it feels like, well, I don't know, when was the last time I saw you? 2 years ago? It's been a while, isn't it? Damn, I can't wait to do some events and just kind of be out of this room and hang out. That would be really, really good. So I'm just looking at bits and pieces. Everything seems to be in order. Yeah, you're right. Definitely. Damn you, COVID. But no, I mean, isn't Monday the day where we could all start hugging and high-fiving without masks and, protective oxygen tanks and all kinds of stuff? Yeah, no, that would be good. So I've had a busy week. It's actually interesting because this week I've been working on the Digital Somerset website. The website we have right now was just something that was put up very, very quickly. So I've been lucky enough that we've had a bit of agency time in my schedule to work on the Digital Somerset website. So hopefully in the next week or just after the next week or so, that will go live, and that will hopefully be a place where we can kind of, share podcast episodes and share news and stuff like that. So it's just a bit more of a centralized place where people can go and get information about Digital Somerset and things like that. Matt Acott, hey buddy, good to see you, hear you. See your messages. Hope you're well. Hope you and the family are well. Thank you. Yep. I have enough camera, lighting, makeup and all sorts in here to hopefully get a crisp picture. Yeah, it's just been kind of my obsession over the last COVID period of, I've got to spend your money on something right, and it's been lots of gadgets and gear. Haven't even scratched the surface yet. But who wants to see a little, I love when I do a live stream, it's all well and good having this bit as like the glossy bit, which is what everyone puts, I should probably shut my door, but everyone puts their kind of effort into like what the backdrop looks like, and I think over COVID, everyone's kind of up their backdrop game, I've upped my plant game, people have got bookshelves, and I think it's kind of like your backdrop on Zoom now is like an extension of your personality. And I think a lot of people have been kind of putting some effort into that, which I find fascinating and really interesting. And I've been no different, but I will be, complete transparency. So here's the GoPro cam. This gives you a little bit of an update as to what my room looks like. This is actually a room that I've spent a lot of time on. It didn't ever used to look like this. So, I'm kind of proud of this, and I think over the next few days, maybe this weekend, I'll actually start taking some photos of it and sharing some of the gear that I've used and the gear that I've chosen, because I think some of it could be quite interesting to some people. And yeah, so I've got everything controlling the live stream today is kind of a hardware solution. So I've got this big switch here, which has got all my camera inputs, and it's this switch that's actually streaming directly to Facebook and YouTube today. The computers aren't really doing anything. It's just this box, and then I've got my multi-view monitor that checks my audio levels and different camera angles. I've got a bunch of lights going on. This is a big light dome that obviously just kind of gives you that sort of pop on the face, and then I've got sort of key lights and background lights that just kind of brightens up the room. It's actually a really dark room in here, so it does need a lot of, and I've for some reason chosen really dark furnishings as well, so I'm not really helping the situation, but this is what I've got going on. And here's a different kind of angle as well that I've got here. This is my Blackmagic Cinema camera. The color and the matching doesn't quite work with this, but it gives you an idea of what I've got going on. What's the most crucial piece of tech you rely on? Software and laptop excluded. Good question. I think from the live stream perspective, everything is controlled by this guy here. You know, this switcher, this is the thing that makes the live stream happen. You know, you could have, and actually this can be replaced by software. You can use software instead of a hardware solution, but the A10 Mini Extreme ISO, it's called, and there's cheaper ones. You can get the A10 Mini Pro, which is about £400, which will basically do the same thing. This is kind of the most important bit of this whole setup, and everything plugs into this. So this laptop running my chat system right here, that's going into the A10 Mini. I've got the camera angles. At the moment, I've got 3 camera angles. This main camera, my B camera, if you like, and then the GoPro overhead camera are all switched using these buttons right here. And so, and this is doing all the streaming directly to the platform. So this is the most important bit of kit. And then after that, you kind of build outwards from there. So you think about cameras, you think about lights, and you think about audio. And it's probably the reverse order of what I just said is the priority. So you should always think about audio first, then you should think about lighting, then you should think about the cameras. Because actually, you know, I mean, this GoPro is significantly cheaper than the other cameras, but it's not a bad picture because I've got, and I'm still learning as I go, but I've got relatively good lighting, relatively good audio, and you can actually get away with a secondhand GoPro, or even an iPhone actually could be used to do live streaming and stuff. I've got a couple of good cameras that I've kind of built up over time, so that does give it that kind of pop. Okie dokie. So what else is going on? Anyone else? Everyone having a busy week? Got a couple of things to show you actually. I'm just looking on the chats. Bit of a quiet morning. Maybe everyone's at the beach. I should be at the beach. So I wanted to dive in and just kind of share my screen, which is on this one here, of a couple of bits of news. I should be able to enable picture-in-picture if I know what I'm doing. Can I enable picture-in-picture? On? No, doesn't let me. All right, no picture-in-picture. You don't need to see me anyway. Yeah, a couple of bits of news and updates. Is it just me or is my face camera out of sync with my audio? Could be. There is a couple of settings that I could check. What you can do, you can set an input delay on your audio, because audio travels faster than video. Or is it the other way around? No, I think audio travels faster than video, so delay is something that does need to be worked on. I take that off. Oh, Ben's saying audio sync looks good over here. Yeah, it could be just browser or latency latency on your internet connection. I don't know. It's always a bit of a tricky one when it comes to audio, but I'm sure there's improvements that can be made. Most definitely. So, and let me know if the background music gets annoying. I've got it down pretty low, but you know, I'm making a promise. The next live stream I do, so that'll be I'm trying to do these every 3 weeks. That's kind of a good balance between a good balance between me overwhelming my schedule and providing a little bit of value, I suppose. So every 3 weeks we're going to do this. So I just wanted to look at this here, and everyone should be able to still hear me. This is actually really interesting tool I come across the other day. Tamsin and Teams meeting. Yeah, I can imagine. I bet she spends most of her life in a team meeting. I can imagine, and I hope she's well. I do. Oh, Tash can't hear any background music. I think she's probably one of the lucky ones. I honestly am so done with this music. The next live stream I do would be different music. That's what I was going to say. Could pop up a little bit. I like having a bit of background music on a live stream. It just kind of fills that dead air a little bit. It just sounds a little bit more professional, you know, a bit more YouTubey, but it can be quite annoying, especially when it's the same tune over and over again. And this tune was kind of like a staple for Digital Taunton, and it was chosen by John Warner, actually, one of our friends, and it's kind of stuck. But I do think it might be time to up that, and that's definitely on my to-do list. Those that like to do events, just wanted to point your attention to this app actually I came across recently. It's kind of an alternative to meetup.com. If anyone does use meetup.com, it's a way to kind of organize events for your community, a way to just kind of, it's a platform. You can accept payments, you can accept tickets. But the thing with meetup.com is that actually to get a good amount of functionality, it does cost like 20 quid a month or maybe a little bit more, which I find a bit annoying, especially during the COVID times where you need to keep the group active, but you're not actually doing anything. That's been a bit of a frustration. But I recently come across this, and this is kind of like a competitor to meetup.com. I've not used it yet, but it did look really good. I signed up to an event the other day and they were using this tool. It does all kinds of things, you can accept payments, but it's much nicer design, I must admit. The design of this is a lot nicer. And I definitely would recommend maybe checking this out if you wanted to run a live stream, if you wanted to run an event of any kind, online or offline. The pricing looks pretty good as well. It's actually free for pretty much all of their functionality. As long as you've got 500 event attendees or less, you're kind of good to go. So for something that's free, I don't know if I'm going to move, if Digital Somerset will move over to this, but I'm interested to have a look at it and to see what it could do. There's a few things I wanted to also address. Company spaces. This is definitely an important thing to talk about. So I don't know if anyone is aware, but there has been some really sad news about company spaces. And for those that don't know, it's kind of a co-working space, coffee shop, and kind of like a community in itself. But it's also been sort of the heart of Digital Somerset, and it's been a massive asset for a lot of people. Well, unfortunately, there was a notification that came out to members yesterday about how John and the team have decided that actually, unfortunately, COVID and its company in its current form is no longer really a viable business opportunity, and that it wasn't going to continue. So this was really sad news for us because we do all our events at company spaces. But I had a very quick email exchange with John yesterday, and essentially, company will be closing, I think sometime in August, to the public. So it's not going to be a kind of public-facing coffee shop anymore, unfortunately, or a kind of drop-in co-working space, which is a massive shame because there is nothing like this in Taunton. And unfortunately, COVID just, like many things, just kind of killed it, and it sucks. And yeah, that's right, Kevin. Yeah, I know your son. He does work there. I've met him only once actually, but really nice lad. And yeah, absolutely gutted to hear this. And not only for the members that and the freelancers that work there, and just a generally, good place to go. In my opinion, it's the only sort of professional place to go in Taunton to have a meeting or to do some work. Costa and Starbucks are well and good, but you're going to get, people that aren't there to work, people that are there to just hang out and spend time with their kids and stuff. So you've got loads of screaming kids, loads of all kinds of people, and it's just not an ideal working environment. But company had that in spades, and it's going to be closing now. Yeah, so if you just topped up 10 hours. Well, I know that in the announcement yesterday, John did say about refunding anyone that were kind of out of pocket in any way, or actually to encourage you to get in there and use those hours and kind of make the most of it while you've still got it. So I think the the idea is that John plans to pivot the business into more sort of private office spaces. So there's going to be, one thing he wanted me to kind of communicate today is that there are going to be lots more office spaces available, flexible office spaces, and I think there might be doing a bit of a construction work into kind of creating some more spaces. So if you are a small business and you are looking to kind of, have a new studio, have a new office, definitely check out Company Spaces, because it would be great that at least the brand and some of the services can continue to go on, even if the coffee shop facilities and the drop-in days, co-working facilities are no longer going to happen. It's also I think John was pretty clear to me as well that unfortunately it's not going to be a space that's going to be able to accommodate events. So definitely crushing news for Digital Somerset and it was only a couple of days ago that Jeremy and I were actually talking about, right, this is amazing. The restrictions are easing, let's book in an event, let's just see what happens, see who turns up, and we're going to pencil something in for September to do one of the old school pizza nights, big launch, to kind of get Digital Somerset back into its groove again. And yeah, unfortunately that's not going to be the case anymore within Company Spaces. So yeah, we need to look for a new venue, I suppose, which, I'm not sure I know where to start. So if anyone's got any ideas of some good venues that especially are familiar with Digital Somerset's events and what we've been able to achieve, which were really good things, really, really good things, let us know. Let's have a conversation about any ideas you might have, because the events need to go on. It was kind of what Digital Taunton and now Digital Somerset was all about. And I guess being Digital Somerset, it's important that we start doing, I guess it's important that we start taking it on the road to some extent. I want to do events in Bridgewater or other areas of Somerset, but I also wanted a really kind of concrete venue in Taunton for our staple kind of events, only because I live in Taunton and a lot of the people that come to our events in the past are mainly sort of Taunton folk, but that was when it was Digital Taunton. It's closing partly due to innovation. Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with that, and I don't agree necessarily with John on this. And it's okay to disagree with people, right? I think John in his message put that with the idea of digital innovation centres, or no, I think John's words were council-backed projects coming to fruition will have an impact on the business, and who knows? It might have had an impact. In all honesty, from what I know about the Digital Innovation Centre so far, there is nothing to report. It's gone incredibly quiet. The council haven't really disclosed much information to us about how that project was progressing. I think there was meant to be some big announcements in sort of July or June about additional funding being made available to actually make the project happen. From what I have, how the stories kind of transpired with the Innovation Centre is that looking at the most recent kind of proposals and plans, I don't think it was anything that company would be afraid of. I think it was going to be marketed to a very, very different type of audience, and the objectives of that program were, I think, quite different to what company were proposing. So I don't necessarily believe that, I think unfortunately COVID killed company, or the what company is today. I don't think it was really anything to do with any sort of innovation centre, because no one's even put a spade to the ground yet. It hasn't even started. I know that there are some other projects happening though. I don't know if they're council backed, but I am quite excited to hear more about the old collar factory. So if you live in Taunton, there is this old building. I think it was called the Barnacott building. I always call it the old collar factory. I'm not sure why. I think that was what my dad told me it was, or something. And Gavin Eddy, who is a local kind of entrepreneur, he runs a number of co-working spaces in Frome and successful ones in Bristol as well. He owns that building, and there is a project happening where that building will be turned into some kind of space for tenants and creative people. I think my understanding is that I had maybe a bit more of a creative spin to it, or a bit more of an art spin to it. I'm not sure, but we've actually got Gavin Eddy coming up on a future podcast, so I'm really looking forward to asking him lots of questions about this project. But again, this is a project that hasn't really started yet, so unfortunately, it's hard to understand if that would have had an impact on company's success. I mean, up until right today and for the foreseeable future, company had no competition apart from when it started to be a bit more of a coffee shop. Its competition was the local coffee shops. It didn't really have any competition when it comes to co-working spaces or being able to rent a flexible space. It was unmatched, and it still is. And it's just like, I don't know, maybe the market's just not quite there. I mean, these are just literally my own opinions, and I probably know nothing about this subject, but I don't know, maybe it's just bad timing. Remote work is kind of trendy right now. And so there's a lot of people that have realized, with the backing of their bosses and their companies, that remote working is a really cheap, viable way of getting stuff done. And maybe that was just enough where perhaps coming out of lockdown, people thought, you know what, I'm going to rent some space from company because I'm actually gagging to get out of the house. My wife and kids are doing my head in. Maybe let's go to company. And maybe if they were able to hold on a little longer, maybe that would have happened. But actually but the other side to that is that remote working is so trendy now, and that there's much more of a spotlight on remote working, or home working, shall I say, that perhaps people just can't justify the expense of having a space, which I think was between £30 and £100 a month. But I think that's also why John and the team pivoted to kind of pay-as-you-go kind of hours, which I think was a really great idea. And yeah, I've been a member for companies since it started, and have I been in? I haven't. I've just been sort of into my routine of working from home, and I haven't really moved. So it's a tough one, and yeah, I really feel for the team, and I hope the team are really proud of what they've achieved, because it has actually been an amazing thing. And there's a lot of people and a lot of friends that I wouldn't have met if it wasn't for company spaces. So yeah, it's really, really, really bad news on that front. So I wish them the best of luck, and I hope that they do find success in the new pivot that they're moving towards, which is kind of private rentable spaces, office spaces for small teams. So definitely want you to kind of think about that if you are looking for a space for you and your co-worker, and anything like that. So yeah, definitely give them some love. And I think after this, I'm actually tempted to pop out for a coffee and pop in and say hello as well. So I might actually be in town this afternoon and say hello. So that's what I wanted to talk about on that. I don't know if anyone had any questions on that specifically. I could answer what I could. I don't think there are any questions on that. But yeah, it really sucks. Really, really sucks. What time is it? I'm already halfway through already. Waffling. What else is anyone on the stream? 8 people. A whole bunch of comments. Well, I say a bunch, there's like a few. Cool. So let's dive into what other bits I have. Hey Sylvie, good to see you. You alright? Hope you're keeping those doggies cool. My dogs are sweating somewhere. I'm not sure if they're in here somewhere. No, I don't think they like being on camera all that much. So I think they are keeping out of this room today. Probably trying to find their mum somewhere. Hey Kevin, yeah, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Give my best to Tamsin, and yeah, hopefully catch you soon. And okay, so let's have a look at some other bits that I've come across. Has anyone actually come across this this new, I know it's not Somerset, but there's Plymouth have just announced this new kind of innovation space, this new innovation zone. It looks amazing. I hope that the council who are working on the innovation centre in Taunton could maybe look at this, because this looks great, and it's in Devonport and Plymouth, which was where I went to university. I think Devonport has recently been sort of described as quite a rundown area, I think, or an area that needed sort of an economic boost or something. And I think this space looks incredible. It's like this, so, I mean, look at that. Imagine if Taunton had something like that as an event space or a gallery space. God, that would definitely tickle my fancy. So yeah, this is the Market Hall on at the Market Hall UK on Twitter. Yeah, definitely. God, yeah, I wish Plymouth was a little bit closer. Looks great. They just had their kind of launch party as well, I think a couple of days ago. Looks insane. Super, super cool space. Yeah, very lucky, very jealous of Plymouth right now. So good luck there. A couple of other things I just wanted to announce. Just a big thing actually. Tech Southwest. Tech Southwest, they're a partner of ours, big friends of ours. They're doing their Tech Southwest Awards night. I think the deadline for entries of the Tech Southwest Awards are the end of this month. Let's have a poke around their website. And I've kind of previously been a judge on this. It's a really great thing. It's a fantastic opportunity for your business to kind of get a bit of profile, shine a spotlight on what you're up to. There's loads of awards loads of categories to enter. So I definitely encourage you to check that out. So and it would be great to get a bit more representation from Somerset. So if you're a Somerset business or anywhere in the Southwest, you know, take a look at the Tech Southwest Business Awards. It's really good. I assume that their event ceremony, the award ceremony night, is going to be an online one again. Although I might be wrong, maybe they are planning an in-person one. I'm sure the information's on the website somewhere, but there's loads of categories you could enter. Health tech, best scale up, tech for good. I mean, to be honest, my business should be entering in this really. We've done some cool stuff this year, but nothing, I should do it. Teach tech education initiative. So yeah, there's some interesting categories. The Tech Cluster Awards as well, which is cool. You know, if you enter into any of the categories, you will automatically be entered into your representative kind of cluster award. So if you are a Somerset business, I definitely encourage you to, you know, help put Somerset on the map a little bit more. Not only for your own business, but for Somerset as a whole. It'd be really, really important. Try and do that. I need to send them a better logo because I don't like the fact that my text is all not lined up with everyone else's. That's not cool. So yeah, Tech Southwest, I think the award deadline and I think the submissions are really simple. I must admit, I've entered kind of awards before, and the forms to fill in, sometimes you do wonder if it's just worth it, because it can be a lot of information, but I don't think it is with this. I think the entries are really, really simple. Definitely worth it. There's a couple of past winners here as well, so yeah, check it out. I think it's such a good thing to be a part of, and especially if you are a business, not necessarily a tech business, but maybe you're, you know, a business that has elements of tech inside it that, you know, that helps sort of improve your service, helps you know, foster collaboration within your organization. Could be a really, really good idea, so get involved in that if you are interested. Another thing, I think the deadline for this closes at the end of this month, but Somerset West and Taunton Council are offering the Restart grant for those that need it. Coming out of COVID, it's really, I think it's really important to keep an eye on your local council websites, your LEP, Growth Hub websites. There's various different initiatives up and down the Southwest that can provide support for your business come coming out of lockdown. I think that there is help available. The thing I get frustrated about is that sometimes the help is actually hard to find. So sometimes you just have to kind of, keep an eye on the websites, sign up to newsletters for your local council. Quite often you just need to be in the know is sometimes the hardest part, and you might find that your business qualifies for, a little boost, right? Which wouldn't be a bad thing for anyone. And on this particular one, this is eligible for non-essential retail, hospitality, accommodation, leisure, personal care, and gym businesses. Some of my friends run small bit gyms or PT trainers and things like that. So this could be actually interesting for them. There's obviously a load of kind of stuff about, if you qualify, but if you've got a rateable value of exactly 15 grand and under, you could be eligible for over a 2.5 grand boost, which is a grant, not a loan. And actually, 2.5 grand for anyone might be just nicely appreciated. If you've got larger premises that have a rateable value of over 15, you get more money, etc., etc. So here's the URL. So, basically if you just search for Somerset West and Taunton Council Restart Grant, you'll be able to be pointed to that. Definitely look at that. I think I did see in an email that the entries do close at the end of this month, so you've definitely got a week to put in a bid. Why not, right? It might only take less than an hour to put in a bid, and you could get, if you're a small business, you could get, a nice little boost. That sounds cool to me. Hinckley are also offering a form of a grant as well. Don't know too much about this. I'm just kind of scanning through it myself. But essentially, if you are in the tourism game, grant application form, guidance notes, grant guidance notes. What's this one all about? Wow. Yeah, grants of between 5 and 10k will be to deliver new visitor products and experiences to further enhance the visitor experience in the area. So anyone working in kind of, I think this could be applicable to people that work in tech. If there are any projects that you're involved in that where your objectives are to kind of bring tourism or to engage with, that sort of sector, there could be some grants made available from Hinckley. So might be worth checking it out. A couple of events going on as well. Online workshops from the Somerset Chamber of Commerce, which I stumbled across recently. What I saw about the Chamber is that they're now starting to do their in-person events. So they're now coming out of lockdown, and now they're sort of proudly promoting their in-person events, which I think are selling out quite nicely. So this one is an event fired up by my friend's intro tweet. I think it's a, workshop, online workshop, Instagram for businesses. So if you're a small business and you want to know a little bit more about how Instagram could work within the context of business and not just for your food photos, maybe hang out here. It's only 20 quid. And these guys, Laura and Pete, they're awesome at delivering training on social media. So yeah, might be a good shout. And also our friends, Paul at Word Gets Around, they are doing their second barbecue. They did a barbecue a couple of weeks ago, and I think it went really well. Again, it's just like any opportunity to start getting out and mingling with people was such a good idea. And they're promoting their barbecue event on Friday the 23rd of July. I think I might try and make that one. 23rd of July, hang on a minute, that's next Friday? Yeah, I think it's next Friday. So yeah, that's pretty cool. 10 quid, and I think you get some food, which why not? So definitely check that out if you're in the area. This is more of a Taunton thing, I think, or if you want to travel in, why not? And what else is going on? Bridgewater Networking events. I think this is online. Partnership. But there's some funding around it. There's a group of charities, voluntary organisations and volunteers who are working together to support local communities, post-lockdown and beyond. Would you like to get involved? So this looks like a bit of a new thing. Might be nice to, if you want to sort of start engaging with your local community, this could be a nice way of getting involved. So it's by Spark Somerset. Definitely check that out if you're interested and you're in the Bridgewater area. Cool. I think that was pretty much what I had gathered over the last couple of days. I don't know if anyone else on the live stream has got anything they want to promote or share. More than happy to take a look. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, anyone who's just joined. For anyone I don't know, my name's Shane Griffiths and I run with Jeremy Hyam's Digital Somerset. And the idea of today is a bit of an informal live stream that I like to do on a Friday morning every few weeks, just to say hello, play around and dust off some of my equipment. I mean, Lord knows I've been kind of, obsessing over it for the last year and I've hardly used any of it. I haven't even scratched the surface either of my equipment. I've got another camera there that I could be using. Andrew, one of my closest best friends. Hope you're well, buddy. Thank you for keeping the numbers propped up. Keep the language to a minimum. I know what you're like. And unfortunately, our crypto portfolios aren't going particularly well right now, are they? So anyone interested in crypto, or I've been kind of getting into cryptocurrencies over the last 2 months and learning and immersing myself in it. And I think the best way to immerse yourself in something is to just put something in. So yeah, unfortunately, my investments aren't going particularly well. Whole crypto market is pretty low. But then others would argue it's a great time to buy. So depending on what your point of view is on crypto. So me and Andy have been what feels like wasting our money right now on various different cryptocurrencies. But who knows? One day, 10 years time, might be millionaires. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Anything else anyone's got going on right now? Happy to share it. Just want to kind of point your direction as well to our YouTube channel. We've got some podcasts that we release every 3 weeks. There's a new podcast, audio and video format. And the idea of those podcasts is that myself and Jeremy, we interview kind of, really interesting people from all kinds of different backgrounds. One of our latest podcast episodes was with Nick Sturge, who has an MBE and is a massive influential entrepreneur in the Southwest and particularly the Bristol area. So we had a good chat with him and we talked about kind of how he got into kind of, building his businesses, how he sold his businesses, what success was for him, how he's influenced kind of the whole kind of community area within Bristol, and hoping to learn a little bit of what he's achieved so we could kind of pass that into the Somerset area. So that was a really good chat. So anyone interested in that, give it a listen. We've also got a new podcast going live, I think, next week. And that's with Maddie Taylor, senior designer from What 3 Words. That's a really, really good episode. If you are familiar with What 3 Words, it's kind of like this new app where the whole world is like marked up into lots of little squares, and it's basically a new way of getting directions to a place. And there's been lots of TV adverts on it, so it's really gaining in popularity, and it's kind of a rival, I suppose, to Google Maps or Apple Maps. It's a way to really pinpoint an exact location. And they want to just kind of disrupt the whole postcode location based system. So really, really interesting. So they're doing some great stuff, and it was great to talk to Maddie. So tune into that next week and you'll be able to follow along. It was a good sort of 40-minute episode. So yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy that. And please subscribe to this and help share it about. Obviously, this is still very, very new for me and for the team. So if there's any ideas or any feedback you have about the format of this or the format of our live streams in general, any ideas about future events, what would you like to see? You excited about a Digital Somerset event like the old days with the free pizza and the sponsorships and the speakers? If you've got any ideas, if you want to be involved in that in any way, or more importantly, help find us a location, let me know. It'd be great to hang out and have a chat. And I think I will leave it there now. Time to probably do some work. I think the dogs need feeding too. And top up my coffee. And hope everyone has a lovely weekend. And I will check in with you. Keep an eye on our social media accounts for any news and updates about funding and news and stuff like that. And look forward to seeing you on the next live stream. Okay, bye for now. Bye-bye.